Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we dive into a story that exposes just how deep the cracks in South Africa's policing system have become. A confidential report handed directly to President Cyril Ramaphosa has blown the lid off serious problems inside the elite SAPS task team that was meant to fight political killings. Instead of restoring order and justice, the task team has burned through more than R300 million in just 3 years while producing very little to show for it. Low conviction rates, endless delays, and internal fighting have left families of victims without answers. And if that was not enough, the unit has now become the center of political and police factional battles. Let's break it down. The task team was established with one goal in mind: to fast-track investigations into politically motivated murders. South Africa has seen a worrying rise in assassinations linked to local politics, especially in provinces such as KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga. These are not random crimes. They are calculated, targeted killings often tied to internal party battles, competition for government contracts, or simply to silence whistleblowers. The expectation was that this team would bring specialized skills, resources, and urgency. Instead, the leaked report says it has become a costly drain on the public purse. Over R300 million has been spent in just 3 years, yet conviction rates remain embarrassingly low. Many cases remain stuck in limbo. Victims' families wait years for justice that never comes. And the report suggests the reasons are not only technical, but political. Poor coordination, lack of prosecutorial support, and outright political interference have strangled investigations. In other words, the very forces meant to protect the country are sometimes working to protect the suspects. Now, here's where the story gets even more dramatic. The leak of this report comes at a very sensitive political moment. Inside SAPS, there's an open feud between suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Their dispute is said to revolve around who really controls the task team and how it should operate. Imagine this: while communities live in fear and killings continue, the country's top cops are busy pulling each other's uniforms apart in the boardroom. Sources close to the presidency are blunt. They say political killings have continued unabated, and the effectiveness of this unit has been questioned for a long time. The confidential report now puts those concerns squarely on Ramaphosa's desk. The president faces a dilemma: does he shake up SAPS leadership, overhaul the task team, or create a completely new structure to handle political assassinations? Some insiders are even suggesting an independent judicial commission to take over investigations, cutting SAPS out of the process altogether. That's how badly trust has collapsed. Let's pause for a moment. Think about what this means. South Africa is supposed to be a democracy where political competition happens at the ballot box. Instead, in many regions, political competition ends with a bullet. Local councillors, activists, whistleblowers, and even ordinary party members live with the fear that their lives could be cut short if they step on the wrong toes. If the state cannot investigate and prosecute these crimes properly, then what message does that send? It tells the killers that they can act with impunity. It tells the public that the system is broken. Now, here's a bit of dark humor to lighten the heavy mood. Imagine you are in a football match, and your team spends R300 million training, buying boots, and setting up practice camps. But when the referee blows the whistle, your team kicks the ball into its own net every single time. That's essentially what SAPS has been doing with this task team. Lots of money, plenty of talk, but when it comes to scoring real results, convictions, justice, closure, they fumble. Civil society groups are already raising the alarm. Human rights organizations argue that the state cannot afford to keep wasting time and money while lives are lost. They demand greater transparency and accountability. They want Ramaphosa to take decisive action before the upcoming local elections, when political tensions traditionally spike and more killings are expected. Think about it, every election cycle has been marked by a surge in assassinations. If this task team remains dysfunctional, then the next few months could bring even more chaos. Security experts add another layer of concern. They warn that political killings are not just a criminal problem, they are a direct threat to South Africa's democratic stability. Every time a councillor or political activist is assassinated, it weakens the democratic process. It frightens potential leaders away from public service. It deepens distrust between communities and the state. In the long run, it can destabilize entire regions. KwaZulu-Natal is a perfect example, where political assassinations have become almost routine. The leaked report paints a picture of bureaucratic inefficiencies, turf wars, and constant meddling from factions within SAPS itself. Some investigators allegedly refuse to share information across provinces. Others are accused of leaking case details to suspects with political connections. The result? Families wait for justice that never arrives, while perpetrators laugh their way to the next political meeting. And while this may sound like the plot of a bad crime drama, it is the reality of South Africa's policing crisis. Even within SAPS, there is frustration. Senior police officials who spoke anonymously admitted that the unit has become an embarrassment. The huge budget spent has delivered so little that it's now difficult to justify its continued existence. So, what happens next? That depends on whether Ramaphosa has the political will to act. He could order a complete overhaul of the task team, bringing in new leadership, independent oversight, and stronger prosecutorial partnerships. He could even dissolve the unit entirely and set up a new body insulated from SAPS factional politics. But here's the catch: any major shake-up will upset powerful people inside the police and within political circles. And upsetting those people might be dangerous, both politically and personally. This story is more than just about numbers and budgets. It's about lives lost, families grieving, and a democracy at risk. Every rand wasted on an ineffective unit is a rand that could have been used to prevent the next assassination. Every case left unresolved sends a message that political murder is an acceptable strategy in South Africa's politics. To wrap this up, let's be clear, the stakes are high. Without urgent reform, political killings will continue unchecked. Communities will lose more leaders, citizens will lose more faith in the system, and South Africa will slide further into instability. The confidential SAPS report has laid out the facts. The question now is whether the president will act, or whether the same cycle of spending, infighting, and inaction will continue. That's all for today's deep dive. What do you think should happen next? Should the task team be scrapped and replaced with an independent body? Or should Ramaphosa clean house and force SAPS to fix itself? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our updates. See you next time.